Welcome back to Burpengary Sports Complex, just north of Brisbane. And Will, it's quarter time. The VAFA right on top, 6-5-41 to Queensland, one behind 1 point. We mentioned the breeze is favouring that scoreboard in which the VAFA kicked with in that first term. Tell you what, I was enjoying the Queensland weather up until about half an hour ago, and this stiff breeze from our broadcast positions right in our faces here, it's just made it a little bit chilly for us commentators.
Our broadcast position is right up in the clouds as well, so we're really feeling this breeze, maybe more so than the players or the spectators, but it is chilly, it is blustery. That is not a good bounce from the umpire to kick off this second quarter. So, like you said, Andrew, 6-5-41 leading Queensland, 0-1, 1 point.
Shaw roves his own ruck work and kicks it out of the middle of the ground up towards Croft, who's just trying to guard the space around the football. Hilton dived in on it, as did Johnson. And we will have a ball up just inside the centre square still. Can Queensland muster to try and get their way back into this contest? This is a good way of doing it. There's a couple of early stoppages just to ensure that the VAFA don't break away and kick quick, easy goals to what so far has proved to be the difficult end to score, and we're going to get a third bounce here in a row. So this new sports complex has opened just this year, I understand?
Yeah, very recently. And
I think Brisbane played here at practice matches in the pre-season.
the Brisbane Lions played the Sydney Swans here, and it got quite a turnout as well. From all reports, it was a really good day, so they might be doing that a bit more often as Queensland burst out through this clearance. It goes just forward of the wing. Well done there by Askey as he tried to take on the opponent. That's a good tackle on the wing. The umpire's going to see that thrown up. So that was Brock Askey. He plays for Palm Beach Currumbin in the local leagues. So Seddon, handball back to Kinch. That could almost be a high tackle. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Well, that's almost harsh, but
I don't like that. I reckon he guessed on that occasion because we could see him get the hand pass out this side and the camera would have picked it up too.
So that kick goes back to Boone. To Derek on the outer side. He looks further afield. That's a really good kick to Truella. He can double back. He's got a player running for him. This is Johnson. Right outside 50, gives it height. Could travel all the way here. That might bounce. Oh, it bounces cruelly, but it might work out. Well picked up beautifully by Askey.
Look at
Smothered off the boot. Gee, that bounced unbelievably.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it? Because we saw earlier in the match, bounce through truly for Howard. When he kicked the first goal today on that occasion, not quite bouncing the right way there for Queensland. Shaw, front spot, knocks it down. Another chance here for Queensland. Comes out sideways.
Holding the ball.
Yeah, being very hot on that, aren't they?
And a few of those.
Here goes Tardif, away to Roach. Run a long way, Roach, but kicks down the line up towards Rice, and Paul's first to recover. Hand pass up to Rice, hand pass to Cruz. Cruz, of course, who's just moved down to Melbourne from Queensland. Knows a lot of the players in the side.
Yeah, used to play with guys like Askey and a couple of the guys on the Queensland team today.
I was chatting to him actually in the pre-match meeting out in the middle of the ground about the grass, because it's a very different grass to what we get in Victoria on the surface here.
Is it really?
Oh, massively different.
Queensland grass?
Oh, it is completely different. It's very it's wiry sort of grass, whereas in Victoria you get more the individual blades on the ground. But we're talking about the pace of the deck and the way that the ball, whether it bounces, and it's a fast surface, but because you tend to get, compared to Victoria, tend to get more grass burns up here in Queensland because of that wiry nature of the grass, but you don't get as much mud here, of course. Even when it does rain, it's good drainage. So Queensland come away with it here through Logan. And we're going to have a ball in right in front of our broadcast position. Excuse me, excuse the listeners and viewers who are watching the broadcast. I cough inadvertently. Unfortunately, I've brought the Melbourne sickness with me as Fields then kicks it up inboard up towards Handley. Just punched away from him. Paul puts on a good tackle there on Derek. Not going anywhere, and it's locked in. about 30 metres out directly in front of goal for the VAFA. So better start this term for Queensland.
Yeah,
VAFA haven't kicked a goal inside the first. I think they had 2 goals inside the first 3 minutes. They haven't managed a goal so far. 4.5 minutes gone in this opening stages of the second term.
So it looks like Matt Truella from Wilston Grange is playing on Handley now, and as we saw early on in that first quarter, Handley had kicked his first 3 goals. So a bit tighter on him so far. A bit more positive football. That was a wild handball from Victoria. Ended up in the hands of Howard. Now it's spilled back. This is going to be Roach. Nearly has a shot at goal. Croft puts it across the face. Just outside 50 now. Here's Fieldsend. Has a shot. It's just travelled wide. So that's the first score of the second quarter. Only a minor for the VAFA. 6-6-42. Still leading Queensland comfortably. 41 points. Kick out from Queensland. He can go for a run here. This is Shelton, the captain. Spills the ball. Met strongly by a couple of Victorian players. And we'll have a ball up. So that was Paul Shelton there from Morningside, who I said the captain of Queensland. He was on the Brisbane and Hawthorn list at some stage in his career. Played 3 years in the VFL for Coburg as well. As we see the ball travel towards Queensland's goal, just on the wing here.
Well, we're discussing off air in the break there, Will, about the makeup of this Queensland side, whether any of them that play at a higher level, that being the NEAFL. Obviously the club sides that are represented here aren't in the NEAFL at the moment. But I understand there's a few out there, so there's some good footballers there for the Queenslanders as Williams comes away with it for the VAFA up towards Handley again, and that's a good mark.
Is it Truella? Yeah, it is.
By Truella against Handley, and he gives it off, and Queensland come away through Boone. Kicks a good one to the outer side of the ground. And they send it long down the line. Tomlinson it was with the kick up towards the wing. Just bounced over the head of everyone. McQueen Campbell tried to knock it to advantage. Couldn't do so. Came out the back here towards Boone, who kept running and got the ball up towards half forward. And as we've mentioned a couple of times, Queensland putting in a much better effort this term.
They're unlucky their first 5 minutes was so poor, because really since the last 10 minutes of the first quarter, it's been almost level. But in saying that, they're yet to kick a goal, so it's not like they'd be winning.
Well, there's that whole side of it, the mental side of it, of just being on the scoreboard and getting your first goal. You go to the VAFA through Ambrose, who won the best on-ground medal in the VAFA's last representative match against the Eastern Footy League. Of course, on the Essendon VFL list, his brother Pat Ambrose made his debut for the Bombers in round 1 this year and played last night in Sydney. Howard had a couple of running bounces on the outer side, kick to the hot spot. Here's Tommy Paul from Old Melburnians, their skipper. Can't quite gain possession. Well done though by Queensland through Spackman. And they can relieve and they go out through the middle, but again that skill error just costing them there as McQueen Campbell charges through the middle of the ground. Spackman goes in again hard for Queensland, wrapped up in the middle of the ground. Just that kick there costing Queensland a chance to break free.
Basic skill errors, but how good was McQueen Campbell bursting out of defence like that? So this is going to end up with Kinch on the left. 2008 Grogan medalist Kinch. Tries to put it forward. It's going to be turned over by Caven, sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
First time I've seen his name today. Even further wide, he's got Roach. Inboard is Keane. Drops the mark he probably should have taken, but it shouldn't matter. This is Wynn. Look at this link up from Victoria. Clinical in nature. Here's Handley. Well done though by the Queensland defender. Follows up his tackle, Truella. Trying to burst his way through. Could have been in the back. Ball's going to hover around here for a moment. Just spills free. Daniel's there to make a tackle. Spackman does well. Relieves the pressure. And now Tomlinson is going to be able to rebound.
Kicks a good one to the outer side. Seddon just couldn't quite haul in the mark though. Roach putting pressure on him. Hand passes over the top to Keane. Keane on the right boot up towards centre half forward, and Ambrose takes the mark. He was going to go and then he elected against it. Now sends it to the lead of Handley. He's forced to punch on that occasion and he's going to be pinged for chopping the arms. Free kick to go to Queensland there through Boone. Boone's kick is wide to the outer side of the ground and Seddon gathers on the bounce, kicks it long down the line, and that's a great pass there to Jamie Hackett. So Hackett, off a step, kicks long to the pocket, to the leading direction there of Bilton. Can't quite gather it, it's tight against the boundary line over boundary, throwing 25 metres around, right under that scoreboard that says the VAFA 6-6-42 lead by 41 points over Queensland. One behind. The VAFA have just kicked the one minor score this term.
So 10 minutes into the second quarter. Boundary throw in. One down by Shaw. This could be a shot for goal from the pocket. Something about it. Put another behind on the board for Queensland. I didn't quite make out who it was. So it's going to be a kick out for Victoria. He sends it long down the line. That's a good kick. Finds a teammate very comfortably. So that was Keane. Handball's inboard. He's got Williams. Further down the line, inside the centre square now. Croft gives it to Scott. And Scott has got Rice. So Rice had a set shot in the first quarter that was unsuccessful, and that kick is similarly unsuccessful as he kicks it straight to Boone, who has Ben Merritt on the outer side.
They've done well with Queensland. It's stopping that service to Handley, haven't they? By just dropping that number back in the hole, and it's thwarted a number of attacks from the VAFA.
It's the one thing that's really worked for them so far. So this is 4. Sends it inside 50. Running for it was Bilton. That's a big contest. Well done there by the Victorian player, but it's turned over by Reece Power from Morningside. Puts it towards goal. Another minor score. So they're having a few shots now. Brings it back to under 40 points. It's a 39-point margin. 11 minutes into the second.
So kicking in duties, Overman goes to the pocket and Townley. Townley's kick's okay, finds Zimbacks. Zimbacks to his Collegians teammate in Scott. Scott goes down the line to his Collegians teammate in Croft. Of course, there are 5 Collegians players in this side today. They're the most represented club in the VAFA lineup today. Scott hacks one off the ground, down the line up towards Rice. It's well done by Rice. He's going to get a free kick. It's going to come back though. As free kick going the way of Queensland, I'm not quite sure what that was for. Boone will take the free kick for the Queenslanders.
Let's assume it was a bit of talk to the umpire or something, because I can't quite make out what that was for either. So Boone, it's a good kick, direct pass. So that was to Merritt, the son of Roger Merritt, Ben Merritt, on the Southport list.
Yeah, I saw Roger just wandering around the ground earlier.
So Nick Wynn for Old Xaverians. That's a very strong intercept mark by Nathan Quick for Broadbeach. So they can set up from here, a bit of an overlap. Here's Seddon, inside 50, he's got targets, he goes himself, probably should have passed. You have a couple of players begging for the ball, particularly Lachlan Ross found a bit of space inside forward 50, so that's 3 shots in a row that could have got them their first goal, but they're unsuccessful thus far.
Tardif to the outer side and Scott, little dribble around the line, up towards Rice, who hand passed it back in towards Hilton. Hilton's kicks a good one towards Croft. Croft to Howard. Howard on his left, kicks to the pocket and Fields End. Oh, what a good mark that was from Fields End. Just hauled it in one-handed, diving away to the pocket. He's got Ambrose on in the middle of the ground if he wants to use him. Doesn't. I think he's going to go back and have a shot. One of the co-captains from D. Larcell is Matty Fields End this year. Spent a lot of time at on a VFL list. He's back full-time at D-Lar this year.
So this set shot, it's a difficult pocket, this one.
First real opportunity for the VAFA to score this term. Oh, he's mongreled the kick into the goal square. Handley puts some big body pressure on in the contest. Queensland have numbers on the last line of defence. They work it out through Quick. Hand pass goes back to the goal square and Seddon, is it? Daniel, who's running out of defence and kicks it long, but the VAFA have set up that wall across
that bounce.
Bounce eluded them, and it's going to work out well here for Queensland as they stream through the middle of the ground. Here's Seddon now, kicks up towards the full forward direction, tried to work his man under it there, and being held possibly without it was Bilton. Bilton still working hard against outnumbered, and Bilton's done really well here for Queensland. Strong tackle laid on, and he managed to hold up the ball well because the VAFA had numbers. And I reckon he probably could have got a free there for a little jumper pull when he didn't have possession.
Bit unlucky was Bilton, and the kick wasn't to his advantage, so he did well to bring it to a neutral position as Williams tries to earn this clearance. Good kick to Overman, and they can play on from here. A lot of run now for Victoria. Shaw turns it over. Ball comes out to Quick. He's got Kinch. Kinch sends it long. Who's there for Queensland? No one.
Caven.
Tom Caven takes a very strong defensive mark, and he sends it wide for Victoria to send it outside defensive 50.
Zimbax to Hilton. Hand pass to Wynn. Ran past him and speared a ball to Handley, and this is the first time that Handley's been able to lead at the ball since early in the first term, because Queensland had done so well just dropping that extra man back into that hole in front of where he was leading out. But the fast transition of play from one end of the ground to the other allowed Wynn to spear a ball into Matt Handley. Man on the mark stands on the 50-metre line, so it'll have to be all of Big Chopper Handley's best to make the distance here. But he is a long kick.
He's kicked 3 so far today, Matt Handley. Representing old Xaverians from 55. He's going to fall short. Spoiled through. No, just across the face. And he's somehow kept it inside. No, he hasn't. So I think that was...
Rice who?
Rice.
Yes.
Joel Rice tried to kick that in, but the boundary umpire spotted the ball travelling out of bounds.
Rice spent a fair bit of time playing in the Waffle in Perth. He won a Woodrow medal, which is the VAFA's Premier Section equivalent of the Brownlow, if you like, in 2004 while playing for Marsland, as Roach snaps a check side kick out of the pack there, and it goes through for a minor score. And now Rice playing at Old Carey in Premier B.
So back out to a 40-point lead. No, sorry, still 39. I thought the scoreboard was going to tick up there. So Paul Shelton, captain for Morningside. Morningside on top of the ladder in the Queensland leagues. Percentage of over 200, so they've been dominating this season, as is evident from the 10 players on the list today for the Quaffle. So Tomlinson, a Morningside veteran, Nick Tomlinson. He's played 200 plus games for the club. Queensland rebound. Ryan Johnson, another Morningside player. He goes further up the line. That's a good kick. Just evades the hands of his teammate.
Looks like we're going to get a bit of Little League at half-time here, are we? It's got the
We see that sometimes at NEFL level, actually.
bit of Oz kick or something like that. A few youngsters out on the ground having a kick, which is good to see.
On the wiry surface.
On the wiry surface, yeah. A couple of our guys were actually saying as well when we were in the middle of the ground, it's the first time they've played on a ground where there's no cricket wickets in the middle. So, of course, all our grounds in Victoria generally are dual occupied with cricket in the summer and footy in the winter. But as Tyson Cruz, the Queenslander playing in the Victorian side, said, as Queensland try to work it out off halfback, he said that they've got so much space up here in Queensland, you tend to have more separate AFL grounds than and separate cricket grounds as well.
That's probably true.
You don't have that cricket wicket in the middle of the ground. So it'd be nice for these players, particularly the ruckman, who get such grazed knees playing on the hard cricket wickets in the middle of the ground. Here come Queensland away from that clearance. Well done by 4. He's worked it up towards half forward. This is a good mark here from Abbey. And his kick smothered there by, kicked it into the man on the mark by Caven. Caven just hand passed it out, going back in Kinch. And a pack form.
Could have been a high tackle.
Queensland, they've had an opportunity, just have tended to, whether it be the pressure or the pressure of the situation, cough it up and force either another contested ball situation or a turnover to the VAFA. We're going to get a secondary bounce here as well.
Just as you were saying about the ground without the cricket wicket, you could almost argue that this is a nicer surface than the Gabba itself up here in Brisbane. It's a custom-made AFL field, and there's been plenty of complaints from ruckmen over the years of the surface of the Gabba with the cricket wicket.
Yeah, I wonder how long that'll last. I know now that Adelaide Oval's being used in the AFL, they've got rid of the cricket wickets in the middle, so it'll be drop-in wickets there.
Drop-in. one by one they're disappearing as Victoria rebound from 50. Out wide, this is Rice. Good tackle there by Boone. And he can make some space for himself. That's a poor kick. It's a very poor kick by Boone. No one in particular. So Tom Overman for St Bernard's. Kicks it down the wing. Taken just inside the boundary line there by the Victorian player in Townley. Yeah. So Townley looks inboard. Dangerous kick, could be chopped off. Here's Power. Reece Power picks it up well, evades his defender. This kick's gone to Shelton. There's a bit of space now. They might just get their first goal of the game. That's a strong mark taken by Jamie Hackett. So could this be the infamous first goal of the game for Queensland?
We certainly are going to get some Little League as well. All the kids lined up, ready to go. Looks like the Bulldogs are taking on...
The Caboolture Lions, I believe.
The Caboolture Lions.
Played the Caboolture Lions a few times in my junior career as well. As he puts it through the middle, there's the first goal of the game.
Fantastic.
Finally on the board, Queensland. It's taken a quarter and 20 minutes to get there. But that was good play by Queensland. Through Shelton and a few teammates, they worked it through the centre and found a target inside 50. And so Jamie Hackett kicks the first goal of the game. A Morningside player, Jamie Hackett.
Well, first goal this quarter as well.
That's a good point. Hadn't noticed that. I think
such a blitz-like opening from the VAFA. We haven't had a goal for a while. And it's a good result for Queensland. We're going to have a couple of games going on. Looks like there's some demons down there as well.
You're really excited, Andrew.
It's just we don't get this at games. You only really see the Auskick games going on at AFL grounds at half-time. So it's quite interesting. And now we're going to have a secondary bounce here with the umpire bouncing the ball. We have to throw it up on this occasion. I think this is great stuff. It's just a shame that I think we're going off air, don't we, at half-time? We can't show you some of the pictures. So thrown up in the middle. Shaw knocks it out, but beautifully taken by Shelton for Queensland as the captain drives it forward, up towards half-forward. Townley leading in the race for the ball. Tries to paddle it, might want the boundary. He's got Zimbacks in support, and that could be deliberate. Yep.
Yes.
And he's paid deliberate. He has been consistent at least.
That's true.
Umpire David Lapierre, he's the Victorian umpire here with the two other umpires out there from the Queensland competitions.
So we saw Shelton with that clearance there. He's the man, I think. He's the one they really want to find their spark from. As Johnson kicks it to the man I'm talking about, Paul Shelton, the captain. He's got Spackman. Spackman's got a good kick on him. He was on the Lions list at one point in his career. The rookie list, I believe. So he can send this pretty long. Elects to go wide to Daniel. And they go back. They want to set up here because there's not going to be very long left. Oh, it's 22 minutes. There's plenty of time to set up an attacking option. So Shelton. Disciplined kick. Well chopped off. And that was Cam Williams for the University Blues.
Goes to his Blues teammate in Townley. Blues on top of Premier B at the moment. Just they're one of those clubs that have got a massive percentage over 200 as well, but they have dropped the game, interestingly, to the bottom side in that section, old Ivanhoe, at about round 3. Hand pass from Keane to Scott was a good one, who goes to Roach by hand. His kick goes up towards full forward, and Cruz tries to paddle the mark, can't quite get it. Chance now. Here's Roach putting pressure on. Good bump in the side. Shaw's there too. And Queensland, with numbers, have worked it out nicely. Spackman did well. Kick over the top there. Tomlinson couldn't quite haul in the mark. Here's Shelton. Hare as well. Good pressure by Ambrose. Hand pass to Keane. Keane loves a goal, and he kicks the first goal of the term for the VAFA. Paddy Keane from St Bede's Mentone Tigers gets the VAFA's 7th. They go to 7-7-49. As I mentioned, first for them for the term. Queensland 1-4-10, back to a 39-point margin.
Well, that hurts. Just when they got their first goal on the board and they'd kept the VAFA goalless for some period of time, and they hit back immediately. So Patrick Keane becomes another goal scorer for the VAFA. At the moment it's Handley with 3. 1 for Keane, Croft, Paul and Howard. While for Queensland, the only goal scorer, as you saw just before, was Jamie Hackett. So bounce in the centre. Tackled there by Shelton. trying to create something for his side. Queensland will win the clearance. Done all right this quarter, Queensland. They'd love one more.
Good play.
Here's Lachlan Russ. Follows up his ball. It's been turned over. That's unfortunate for Queensland, as Keane might be able to find some space here. Taking on Spackman, goes to ground. Well picked up there by Ambrose, but turned over again. Russ finds a teammate. This could be another shot for goal. Looks okay. Just travelled through for a behind. 1-5-11. Behind by 38 points. So 24 and a half minutes gone, almost 25 minutes gone. Last quarter went for about 28. That's a massive mark over the back. You've got to pay it, umpire, and he does. It'll go to John Shaw, the ruckman.
It's his first game in a month, actually, Shaw, because he was suspended for some front-on contact a couple of weeks ago, so hasn't played a club game for the last 3 weekends before today.
It's been a bit good showing from him so far.
Keane got it to Scott. Scott's had a lot of ball across half-back as well. Kicks a good one up towards Croft. Good defensive play by Queensland. Mopping up there is Tomlinson. Kick around the corner's a good one there for Daniel. Daniel's hand pass back inside there for Merritt. Merritt went by hand over the top to Power. Kick goes up towards half-forward, punched away by Caven. And we'll have another boundary throw in just in front of that scoreboard. Reading 49 to the VAFA, 11 to Queensland as we approach half-time.
Boundary throw in. 30 metres out for Queensland's goal. They'd love one more heading into the half-time break, just to give them a bit of a spark. All Victoria with hands on it. That was McQueen, Miss Campbell. Here's Wynn. Kicks to the wing.
Keane.
So Patrick Keane, as the wind just starts to get a tiny bit more blustery. It's freezing up here on the commentary box. Might find a jumper at half-time. This is Tom Roach for old Carey. Looks inboard, good kick. No, just evades his opponent, his desired teammate. Ryan Johnson. Handballs backwards. This is Ben Merritt. Wide handball, well done by Queensland. This might work out. Kinch. Couple of players linking up. Kinch once again. Oh, he's got a spare teammate inside 50. Should take the mark. Plays on. Good pass. No, nearly a mark to Russ. No, it wasn't Russ, it was Hackett, the only goal scorer today. That ball's just travelled out of bounds, unlucky to Samuel Ford.
He is the tallest boundary umpire I've ever seen. I hope you're getting a decent shot of that, our cameraman here, because he is a giant. Knocked out from the throw-in. Little kick out from Wynn. Gains some metres for his side. Howard gathers, hand pass to himself around the boundary. Tried to win possession back. Well done there on that occasion by Boone. Good contest between those two players, and we'll have a boundary thrown right in front of our broadcast position.
It's clever by Howard. Nearly worked out. So boundary throw in. Hare and Shaw once again. Kent Abbey was there to see it over the line. Of course, Kent Abbey broke his leg last year and has kicked 5 goals or more in 5 of his 8 games this year. So, recognised goal kicker coming into the match as he just runs off onto the bench. Hopefully he can have a big impact in the second half for Queensland's sake as Hilton turns it over, and that's going to go out of bounds as well. Another throw in. No one wins the tap. Hilton finds a bit of space. He's got Ambrose. Follows up his ball. Should have been a high tackle against Matthew Logan, and it is. So Ambrose. Siren should go momentarily, you'd think. 28 minutes, 30 seconds gone. Down the line.
Kick.
That was a good kick. Croft. Kicked the 1 goal today. Sees that over the line as well.
So we'll have a throw in, right half forward. Just the 2 goals, 1 each this term for both sides. Thrown in Shaw, knocks it down towards Overman, can't quite get it. Picked up there by Shelton, nicely done. Hand pass came out towards Spackman, but his kick goes out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will go to Hilton right on centre wing. He's going to have to go back behind his mark, unfortunately.
Well off the mark. Spackman's been good for Queensland, despite that kick out in the forward. He's probably been their busiest so far.
Kick inboard to Townley. These wings very wide as well, so so much space for the players to work in. Kick is going to fall into the hands of Cruz, who marks on his chest. I'm not sure what's happening here. He's actually just getting a bit involved in the game. Players just want to get on with it and play. So here's Cruz. Kicks a long left football up towards the full forward spot. Big fly. No one can haul a mark in. Shaw's there trying to do the roving. Paul tries to get a kick at goal. Howard does, and Howard snaps a goal.
That's splendid.
So the skipper gets his second for the VAFA. He's got 2 today, Cam Howard. He gets their second of the term. 8-7-55 the VAFA, leading Queensland 1-5-11. 30 minutes gone in the second term.
Yeah, just when I thought it was going to be Queensland getting the upper hand of the second quarter, the VAFA have pushed it out to what I believe is the biggest margin of the day, 44 points. So that was a wonderful finish by Howard. Such good goal sense. Number 1, the captain for Old Carey. There's a few players for Old Carey out there today.
Yeah, four Old Carey, 4 Old Zavs, and 5 Collegians in the side.
The umpire bounces it again. Hare gets a hand on it, but it's Fieldson who's going to run away. Derek's there to meet it for Queensland. Paddles it out to the boundary line, and there's the siren. So that 44-point margin we were talking about is going to see us out for half time. It is the VAFA 8-7-55, Queensland 1-5-11. Leading goal scorers so far, Matt Handley, still with just the 3. He didn't get one that quarter. Only 1 shot for goal. Howard kicked his second, as you just saw, and singles to Tom Paul, Harry Croft and Patrick Keane. While for Queensland, it is only Jamie Hackett who's gotten on the board with his 1 goal. So we're going to leave you here at Burpengary. It's a pretty one-sided contest, but let's see if Queensland can string something together in the second half. So, like we were saying, the VAFA leading Queensland by 44 points.
Public to stay off of the main arena during the entire half-time break. During half-time,